Would you look at that? Syman Gaming managed to get it done. Not once, but twice now over Gambit, but just once in this best-of-3 series. They've still got Dust2 to come, and that's what's going to be coming up next. But Mirage was not a pretty situation here, Pimp and Blair, because we've expected a little bit more firepower, a little more battle out of Gambit, but they just got overrun.
I expected them to be way more proactive. I expected them to learn from yesterday's game, but I didn't find myself in a situation where I thought, all right, Gambit, you're onto something here. It seemed like they were always on the back heel of the gaming plan. And by no time, you know, you felt that Gambit were being proactive in a way where they would take the challenge to the guys from Syman Gaming. Overall, really disappointed in the way Gambit approached the game, and really surprised by how well they were playing in Syman Gaming. I especially want to mark out Turek. You know, he was playing not so well yesterday on Mirage against, I believe it was Spirit. He was down, you know, 0-9, you know, ended up with 22 frags or something along those lines. Anyway, and actually, you know, leveled up his game. So especially nice to see him play that well. But for Gambit, this is now or never. You know, you're one map away from going out of the CIS minor, and with this performance, there's nothing that tells me right now that they can change that on Dust2.
And that's a great thing about watching Syman Gaming is like they are the underdogs that are coming into this. And just the way they played Mirage. Mirage is a map where even on the T side or the CT side, you know, the more proactive you are, like you said, and the more willing to take risks as you are, that can really, it's kind of a risk-reward trade-off over there. But the way to play the CT side, I know like the T side was great. Again, like you said, Gambit were playing too passively. They were so scared to go for certain risks, like, you know, taking map control, for example. Like, I don't know how many times they even tried to contest B apartments or towards Palace or even towards mid. Just a very passive setup, and they got abused time and time again. And even the rounds they won, like Bondic pulling off a really well-played clutch on the pistol round, right? Apart from that, there was nothing teamwork-wise which enabled them to win any rounds. On the other hand, Syman Gaming, the aggression coming out from them, yes, there were a couple of rounds where they just like solo pushing in, not advisable, but managed to work out. But the other aggressions we saw from them towards mid, for example, towards T-slope, towards A, it's very controlled aggression, which I like to see, especially on a map like Mirage. And going into this now, you know, they have the... they have kind of smelt the blood in the water. And if I was a Gambit, I would be a little worried right now.
There's a lot of blood in the water after that game. As we go into Dust2, this was the pick of Gambits, right? And they don't have the best results in it. The only team they've ever beaten is Sprout on it, and that even went through to an overtime game. You're now going up against a fast-paced, completely nothing to lose. All the odds are stacked against Gambit, and Syman are going to be looking very confident going into this one. And this is a map which can really be kind of mixed up, right?
No, and it's a map, you know, that usually favors the T side, I would say, especially during the CIS minor. What we've seen so far has been some lackluster CT sides, but some very well-played, fast-paced terrorist sides. And, you know, the strength of this Gambit lineup, as you were alluding to a little bit, is the fact that they can play defensively. They can sit back, and they don't have the most aggressive players right now surrounding this lineup. And I think that's, you know, a theme that can be discussed with this Gambit lineup. Do you have the right constellation of players within the lineup? You don't have anyone aggressive right now. You have Mer, who's a little bit, you know, of an aggressive playmaker, so to speak. But when you look at the other players, you have a guy like Doja, he's very defensive. You have Mo, he's a very defensive type of AVP player. You have Bondic, a very defensive player as well. Where's the aggression gonna come from on a map like Dust2? Where's the pace gonna come from Gambit? I see, you know, on this lineup, and I look at the lineup and think, you know, this may be a little bit failed casted, so to speak, for a map like Dust2.
It's got to be Mo, though, right, Blair?
Yeah, it's got to be Mo. I mean, he was showing a little bit of aggression, like you said, towards Inferno, but then again, it wasn't like, you know, going for some, I would say, like old-school JW-esque peaks, so to speak. He was trying to play a little bit more passively, a little bit of re-peaking here and there, so to speak. But like, I completely agree with you. Dust2 is a map, especially in the CT side, we're going to play very passively. You can get toyed around. And the way Syman are playing, they're playing very fast-paced, they're, you know, very confident as well. And if Gambit play into their hands, it could be a problem. Sure, Gambit might have a pretty good T-side as well, I'm sure. They picked a map. I'm expecting to see some pretty good executes coming out, but you need those rounds on the CT side, and that could be a problem.
Hey, we're about to get into Dust2. It's going to be a very difficult scenario for Gambit. We know they love it when the pressure's on them. Really quick, guys, do you think Gambit can get this done?
I think they can get it done, but it requires a strong CT side for them to start off with. If not, Syman is going to take this 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, for Syman Gaming, if I was Syman Gaming right now, I'd be like, guys, we don't want to take it to train because Gambit can still bounce back. They want to close it out right now. I'm still going to edge with Gambit. I think they have the pedigree to, you know, take it to the third map.
They had the pedigree.
Pedigree.
All right, let's see if it does come into play. Gambit, they love it when the pressure's on. The question is, can they get it done? Jason and Tom, what do you guys think?
Well, I think it's gonna be an exciting match nonetheless. I don't actually have a preference of who wins. I just want to see the best counter strength possible.
Oh, that's a boring.
I know it is a boring answer, but it is my answer nonetheless. I like to be on the line. I don't like it to be.
You like right your cheeks on either side of the fence.
Yep, that sounds very painful. I'm gonna stop there. What's interesting though to me is that on the last map, comparing to how Syman played yesterday against Spirit,
The odds are in favor of Syman now. They've swung.
Forever in your favor. The odds are forever in your favor. Disbalance had a rough game. He went 14 for 13. And I say rough, like, yeah, he netted positive, right?
Yeah.
But yesterday, he was like the star. He was a standout player for them. But seeing Torg and Perfecto, especially Perfecto, who had a really rough game. I mean, everyone saw the clip on Twitter of their coach Solar just trying to ramp him up, get him, to tell him, like, don't worry about the past rounds. Focus on what's happening now. Keep your morale up. He had a great game. He went 16 for 8. He finished off at a 1.4 rating. Yeah, it was a very one-sided match, but to see him and Torek, two players who are relatively quiet in yesterday's game, step up now is really cool to see. And if everyone starts firing on all those cylinders, I think that's a dangerous thing for Gambit.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well with the game yesterday is that for them to, like, they were so dominant in the last game, I don't think Disbalance needed to make the plays he was making. Like, they were much more structured, much more well played together today, whereas when we saw them yesterday, he was literally having to like dry peek out mid with an AWP and find a pick, otherwise they lost the round.
Yep.
Like that's why I think his stats were so ludicrous, whereas today he didn't need to. He had Sanji doing a lot of the work finding those opening picks, and I think that the fact is even onto the CT side, he had players like Neelan as well, just going aggressive, jumping down into the underpass, maybe a little bit too much, but even still, like, he didn't have the opportunity a lot of the time to get any of the picks. Either way, I imagine this is just going to be a bit of a restart as we do have a few players just, well, one of them dead, which doesn't help. But yeah, I think going into this one, I'm actually now starting to lean the way of Syman myself, because the fact is I've just looked better today. Like Gambit, okay, in the first match we saw, I was impressed, but at the same time, I'm looking at them as a team that should be absolutely obliterating their opposition. They are a team, as I said, they've won a major, like not even qualifying past the minor. Like that's, you go back a couple of years, or you go back to even their old roster that has like a Dren and Hobbit, and I'm thinking, okay, well, even if they have a bad day, they're qualifying through the minor. With this team, I'm actually now starting to think that they might even go out in like, well, not last place. Obviously, it's not last place because someone's already gone home, but pretty damn close to last.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you're not in
the
if you're not in the playoffs, then you might as well just be last, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter if you got a second. And the thing is, like, Gambit is a name that carries a lot of weight with it, right? Like, especially for this region. Like, this is a team just based off name alone. If you're, not a CS fan, or if you don't really pay attention to the scene, you see Gambit and you see someone like Syman Game, you're like, all right, yeah, well, Gambit's going to win, right? Because they have such a recognizable brand already across multiple esports, and of course within CS alone. But hey, this is what the Minors is all about, right? Seeing these teams that we didn't expect to be able to get to the top, to beat teams we never expected them to be able to get themselves through into the biggest event and the pinnacle of CS.
Yeah, I think that, well, Gambit for the CIS, they need to be up there. They need to be playing better, and realistically, Syman Gaming might be about to eliminate them. Either way, we're going into Dust2. We get to see whether or not Gambit are well prepared on this map. Their choice, of course, or whether or not they are going to be getting on that early flight back. Either way, Mo taking the early battle, the range battle, and his teammates also finding kills across the map. It's trades, but so far not so successful, and the flashbang is completely ruined. Perfecto, he's even going to be knifed by Mir. Leave it all onto Tarek, who actually going to cross a little bit further forward. This is quite surprising. I think he's trying to bait them into the fact that he's actually already gone over on towards the side. Now, Axile, he seems aware. He's waiting to see if he actually goes crossing back, because the bomb has taken way too long to go down. He is going to be watching the angle. That is smart from the youngster, knowing exactly where his opponent's going to play, and that will give the 1-0 start to Gambit.
Yeah, great little shot out of him there. Potentially saving a plan from going down, which would have been a big win for Syman Gaming. Hopefully, Gambit don't fall asleep here in this map, because they can't afford to. They can't afford to relax, put their legs up, put a pillow behind their head. They need to focus on this match, because every round's going to really matter.
Either way. Just going to be a few pistols. I say that, just a couple. Purchased up.
A few, technically.
Yeah, whatever. And it is already just a slaughter, but still a couple of kills coming in for Syman, considering they're going to be buying into the next round anyway. Mo will eventually be there to put things down. I think he's definitely one that needs to have a big performance in this matchup. We've said it pretty much all the way through, but he's the sort of, well, seasoned pro, I would say, within this roster. The one was in the team that managed to win themselves the major and has won tournaments before. Him and Dosia are the ones that we really look to if they're going to sort of pull them out of the dirt, which they've been in the last couple of days. And, well, it begins here. They've got the AWP in onto Mo, and They've got all the rifles over on the other side. The purchase in from Syman is a decent one. By the looks of things, they might be able to challenge towards this B site fairly early on in this one.
Well, they're maybe looking to here, but things have slowed down. In the meantime, just to kind of bring it up for you guys at home who are maybe interested in some other matches that are happening over on the B stream, we do have Avantgarde up against Prosto. And Avantgarde is currently up 3-0. Sorry, 3-2, but I think I just heard Prosto win that last round, tying things up 3 apiece on Inferno. That's the other best of 3 going on. Winner of that makes it through to the playoffs. In the meantime, Mir opened things up onto Neelan with the initial frag. And Sanji as well, down to 23 HP. It's not looking too good. We also have Doja pushed up towards Pit. It looks like he might get some company here.
Yeah, yet to really do anything so far in this game. And I think there was 0, 0, 0, and 0 ADR, although it may not be the case. We'll see. Can he do any extra damage in this one? I'm going to go pushing it onto Mo. Hits the shot, but doesn't get the reward, the extra number on his stats. However, 40 seconds left on the clock. Bondic spraying wildly and taking a lot of damage in return, but they are finding themselves the kills eventually as the clock ticks further, and the bomb's actually been dropped through mid. This is problematic now for the T side. They managed to retrieve it quickly, but they need to get this kill onto Axel if there's going to have any chance. And just look at the spot of Mo. They're going to try and avoid him, but with so little time left on the clock, they really just have to go running straight into this site.
And they're going to be running into an SMG with low HP. You can pretty much figure how that one's going to go. Axel does pick up the kills, and Gambit do start off strong with a 3-0 lead. Syman now going to round 4, not going to be able to really afford up any big weapons here, unfortunately for them. Having a little bit of a slower start, but again, this is Gambit's choice, and this is a bit more of a puggier map than Mirage.
Three to 0. Again, just some pistols for the T side, hoping to at least reduce the amount of money that's being made by Gambit. If they can take another couple away, it will still leave them honest and with a chance of a reset.
I mean, a 3-0 lead is nothing to, fall out of your chair for. It's not that big of an advantage for Gambit, and there's definitely a chance that Syman can come back into this one.
They have managed to gain some long control. The problem is, versus the rifles, versus the AWP, not going to have a huge chance of winning a lot of the battles pushing in that direction, but they've shown themselves early on. They've gained the pit control, and now just going to fall back, try and take the spot from another angle. Although I say gain the pit control, that's quickly removed by Mo, who has got off to a flying start in this one. Gambit with their backs against the walls, so obviously knowing that they've got to try and take the challenge here. Up close, Bondic's going to have a lot of players his way. Now, it could be a field day, but he only has an SMG, and they're going to try and run him down. Torix managed to find one, the nade going through, and did he just get 2 headshots with 2 bullets? Dosia just pops both as he fades away and leaves Torix all alone.
Yeah, really well done by Doja. I mean, the nade damage alone was insane out of him. I think Bondic got a decent amount of tags actually in there as well, but Doja was there to clean them up, and not to mention get himself a 4K in his first 4 frags of the map. We're going to be going into Syman now, able to buy up here. I want to see Disbalance get an AWP, which he has been able to secure. And I want to see the battle come down to, is he going to challenge long? Is he going to go for the challenge middle? How is Mo going to react to this? It's going to be a big chess game here between these two teams, especially based off these two operas.
Yeah, I think another one, Disbalance, looking to take that fight, because I think if Mo starts streaking these kills together is where the problem will really lie. But looking like it's more of a hold in towards short, actually, for the CT side in this round. That's where they've gambled the majority of their players. Of course, a powerful position for the CT AWPer to get that opening pick. And normally it's the utility work that actually does a lot of the damage when it comes to Dust2. And I think that was something we noticed actually when we saw like Windstrike playing as well. They were happy to sort of sheet the site with Molotovs to be able to force players off of the angles. Also in the Team Spirit game as well.
Yeah, Disbalance. He got pushed constantly off where Davkos didn't have as much pressure. And I wonder if that's something that Syman's adapted to, or maybe something Gambit did see yesterday to be able to really work against them on that T side when we do have the half swap over. Bomb's still going to be back in towards T spawn. I think this is going to be almost like a delayed hit towards B, though, as 3 players have been able to sneak their way out in towards middle. There's going to be 2 men over towards window. No smoke for the cross just yet. But Mir hasn't been spotted, and this is going to be almost all too easy for him. Gets a double. Neelan's going to fall as well as Axel pushes out the door. There's still going to be a player, though. Sanji's actually lurking in towards short. If he drops in towards CT, if Doja can't get this kill, this could be massive because now the pressure's been applied. Even Disbalance could back away here from the B side, maybe rotate back towards A if Sanji can make more kills happen. He's been pushed in from middle out of Bondic, and unfortunately, I don't think Disbalance has that much time to work with. Almost at this rate, he should consider trying to save the op, but he won't be able to anymore.
Yeah, the thing is, they have no idea. Like, he's more in his own head than anything else. I wouldn't actually mind seeing him get the bomb down and just leave. Because he's got the AWP, he's got some extra money for his team. Now, obviously, any pro player is going to want to fight this one back, and he's going to go and look for that sort of opening pick. He's found it as well. He's got to be careful because there's a second just around the corner, but they're still waiting patiently to actually push back into the site, and they've got no utility. He's actually got a decent chance of winning this one. The problem is he needs to sort of realize that there's nobody actually coming from that position, but he's managed to cover himself off. They're the ones that need to push into the site. All the footsteps being heard, misses the shot, given an opportunity, finds the no-scope as well, looking for more, but Bondic will be there to save Gambit. A little bit too close for comfort, but they have their 5th.
That was still costly as well. I mean, just able to get down that bomb and able to pick up 2 kills. Also prevents potential double upset unless they want to invest the money into it, because they could have been able to save the op to next round and buy up one and the one after. That was a good shot on Mo, and that flick was just a hair off to allow him to clutch that one out. Good attempt, but that's still going to be Gambit taking the 5th round straight on the board. It looks like we're having a little bit of a timeout here for Syman Gaming, maybe just to figure some things out. They've not really pressured long, by the way. The only round I think we've seen them do it was when they were saving with just pistols.
Yeah, and they actually managed to gain full control, but I think that was more just Gambit knowing that they had pistols in place, so they didn't go for the close-range battle. I'll be interested to see if we have any of those sort of 3-man gamble pushes from the CT side, because they've been more focused on short, interestingly, than actual long control. So see what they go for in this round. Again, they have the 3 players over towards A early in the round, and this is exactly that. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, again, they have the players just into short, and they leave it almost solely on Dosia to try and hold this one off. He's got the quick rotations, of course, as they're playing nearby. Quick trade already as Mo, again, he's going very strong at the moment with this AWP. Push coming in onto short as well, as it's still looking like a 2-pronged attack, but just as I say that, Neelan is taken down. And again, it seems like Syman Gaming, they look to explode into action early into the round, but then they're just taking individual fights. They're giving Gambit the chance to just win these duels that favor them so heavily, and then they fall back and just keep the advantage going.
Also, it seemed to be like some slight miscommunication, because Doja pushed past the smoke when no one else was there to back him up, and immediately lost his head. I'm going to be watching the cross. Smoke's not going to cover it off. The second flashbang going to come through and blind him up enough to allow Perfecto to get onto the site. He also has the bomb, more importantly, so there's a good chance they should be able to get this down relatively cleanly, unless Mo's going to go all Kelly on us.
Not quite. Not quite. Looking for that ridiculous play, but I like the fact that the AWP is actually down in pit, just waiting patiently. The problem he has is there's 2 players coming in from that exact angle. He actually manages to get round 1. I thought for a second he was going to be able to finish off Mir as well, but now the big problem comes in for Perfecto. He's got 3 players to find. Nice shot onto the first. Gives him a little bit of hope in this scenario, but Exile will quickly put him down. It isn't to be. Another round on the board, another round that comes fairly close in the amount of players they're actually surviving. Like, for a 6-0 lead, just look at the amount of money that Gambit have. It's not anything impressive.
A couple of moments now in back-to-back rounds, Disbalance could have been the real playmaker for the team. If he got that second kill towards long, that almost should have been a round that Syman was going to be able to pick up. In the round prior towards B, he almost had that 1v3 clutch. That was an amazing shot on Mo as he was jumping across on a Perfecto. Other than that, it's still a 6-0 lead, even though Syman have had a couple of close rounds. Gambit are showing really no signs of stopping. Yeah, the economy's not doing great, but they're consistently grinding away at this game and consistently lengthening this lead as the map does go on, and Doja going to get blinded up. Perfecto does make it into pit, but with only 14 HP.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that's a lot of real estate gathered up by the T side. Still, though, Mo's looking to try and challenge it with that AWP. There isn't one on the other side this time, so he does have the inherent advantage with taking this fight. And again, he's going to pick off the first frag for his team, even doing extra damage with the nades. It seems like Syman are just getting whittled away at the moment. Still, though, 2 quick kills coming back in return. Again, they start bringing these rounds back when needed. And this time, they're actually going to be getting the bomb down. You have to wonder, is it worth going for? Sanji again. Another headshot for him, and leaves Haxal alone 1v3. The money, as we mentioned, not in a good state. So by the looks of things, he's going to try and go for it, but I imagine that's a little bit of a knock of his scroll wheel.
Try to go Call of Duty on us for the jump shot.
Yeah, doesn't work in this game very often.
Yeah.
Cold Zero would disagree.
I actually, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I have a clip of me jumping into pit and one-clicking someone between barrels on Dust2. You know, if I can do it, and clearly it doesn't belong in the game.
Zone Silver 1.
I was gold, or no, not gold, sorry. I was global.
I was gold number 2, I'll have you know.
I was global a couple years ago. I mean, I might have gotten carried a little bit, but I made it. Made it to the big games. I'm face at rank 2. No, I'm actually a little bit higher than that. I'm a little bit higher than that. Here we go. Finally, Syman do get the first round, more importantly. But can they turn this one round into more is the real question.
Yeah, this is where they need to swing the momentum into their favor, because sort of spoke about this yesterday, but this map is very momentum-based, so getting a string of rounds could definitely help you just to continue to build, especially on that T side where you can get those sort of extra AWPs, you can have all the utility, the finances just flowing in your favor, and not allowing, say, double AWP setups or the like incendiaries and stuff to be bought up over on the other side. We see a little bit of a sort of interesting play thrown in from Gambit with the HEs. They try and throw those into the B tunnels, but nothing comes of it. So a little bit of early attempts, but realistically they don't have anything into this round. They're just saving for the next. Mo's already going to be forced off the angle. I have to be a little bit careful here pushing through because CTs have nothing to lose, so it's almost definite they're going to try pushing in, and the Ts have managed to walk right into a stack. And if you noticed, Mir has managed to sneak back through the smoke. The problem is, the longer he takes to actually push him from behind, the more they're going to be expecting it. And I think he may have had too many targets to aim at. Still, he gets himself too. That was surprising. I'm surprised no one actually just noticed him in the back lines. But that's a couple of kills that really never should have been.
What's insane to me is to see a 6-1 scoreline knowing Gambit took 6 rounds straight and they were forced to eco on this round. Like that just kind of blows my mind, considering you have that kind of lead. But that shows the damage that Syman has been doing throughout these rounds and how clean these rounds have not been, more importantly, for Gambit. Bondic maybe trying to pick up a weapon here. Does a couple of points of damage.
I don't know why you take that fight if you're on the T side.
What do you mean? Why would you shoot against the USP?
Yeah, there's no benefit.
I mean,
$300.
Confidence?
I feel like even then, him taking a couple of shots there is sort of like going, well, I probably should have killed him a little bit quicker. He had nothing.
Yeah, you can see right there, Sanji. Just going for the one taps.
Even still, doesn't come at much, and we will have the buy back in. It's a glass cannon up this time for Mo.
It's about the stats, Tom.
Nah, stats are meaningless.
About the rating.
Okay. Well, Syman is going to be up on the boxes, hoping to see somebody push aggressively onto short. Instead, it's actually Mo. He is on short, but just a little bit further back, ready to fall off the wall if anybody goes peeking into the angle. Flashbang will come in, and, well, there he goes. Probably going to fall straight back towards the car spot. Have a reposition with that AWP, but they've gone heavier into B side this time, Gambit, so got to be a little bit careful, relying quite heavily on the AWP to do a lot of the damage. You can see Dosi has already pushed up towards the doors. He only has a UMP, so realistically he's going to be useless in a retake from there. He's just hoping that somebody pushes through and gives him a gun, but the fact is it's a pure short push at the moment from Syman Gaming, and yeah, I think Mo's going to have all the pressure on his shoulders.
It's almost as if they're trying to fake the push in towards A with that smoke in towards short, but they're able to cleanly get out. Mo is going to have protection from Doja. Gets the first. Not going to expect the second to come in from that direction, but he does eventually fall here. Syman should be able to get another round on the board. It's going to be 4-on-4 after plant situation. Like I said before, Doja with the ump. He's got to get up close and personal, and it's even a possibility we could see just Gambit save.
Yeah, they should. They don't have any control of any of the valuable positions. They don't have short, they have long, fair enough, but where the bomb's planted, it's just so difficult. Now, they do have a kit, and that could make things a little bit more interesting, but they need to kill these players off of Cat to have any chance of winning this round. Mir, though, will do some damage. Actually, he has managed to find a couple, and with the bomb planted in such an open position, you'd expect that this would be just easy pickings for the T side, but it is going to come down to the 1 versus 1, and Dosia hits the shot as well. Does he have enough time? I think he's just about got it. That is ridiculous. That retake should have been impossible.
I think the fact that Dosia was still towards long A was good enough. It made Syman realized, hey, there's no one towards long. Pretty much everyone's going to be tucked away in on side, and Syman had to be so frustrated by that round. That was a round they should have had. And yeah, Dosia. Oh, man. That was a fantastic kill out of him. The flick.
Yeah, this as well. The couple of kills that come in for Mir are probably the integral ones, but now, yeah, Syman right back into a risky position. This balance hoping to hit a bit more of a timing shot, but the fact is both teams are in a similar boat here with questionable buys, bits missing, and, well, their economy on the line. For Gambit, it's not such a worry, as they're the ones 7-2 up at the moment over on their CT side. Now, it was said on the desk and needing a stronger CT side if they are going to be able to win this map, but so far so good, and if the T's lose this round, they are going to be reset. Mo, same position as before, same result. Doesn't manage to connect that initial shot, but it still at least gains short control for the Syman side, and they've managed to clear out quite a few positions in this early portion of the map.
I feel like it's got to be so frustrating if Syman loses this map and the match to go back and look at Dust2 and see how many times that they went for delayed push towards long that they would have it. Like, this isn't the first time Doja's been by himself this second round back-to-back, and he only has the ump. I was able to give the op over to Mo. And we're going to see 3 players pushing in, and ideally they should be checking this angle. He gets the first on an Neil, he gets the bomb down as well. He's got an AK that he could pick up. He does pick it up, and he has Mo there to help him out. So look at that. Just the up alone was able to pull down to this push towards long. In the meantime, Bonnet trying to hold on to this 1v2 in for the push from Kawak, and he gets both. Torek and Sanji gonna fall. And Gambit should be lengthening their lead up to 6 now after this round for an 8-2 scoreline.
No chance for Perfecto. He's just going to be trying to save the AWP and trying and failing as he's going to be surrounded. Is he going for the knife?
I was really hoping for it.
Or either that or they're just going to try and kill him after the time, which is, if anything, more evil. Nice shot to at least finish off one, but all in all, it doesn't really matter. I think he knows that they're probably just trying to
back it away.
Scenario. Yeah, they're going to kill him right after the time. Oh. He did it just before. I don't know why. It split second would have made the difference, but yeah, even it, whatever. We're winning
Just wanted the KD. Just wanted the KD there. That's a little unfortunate. I'm surprised that this push in on towards short didn't work out. I mean, Bondic was able to hold on 1v2. I mean, it's so nice we had to see it 3 times of that sick jump towards short, but well done. I mean, that 1 kill out of Doja and Mo rotating over because he was pushed off of short from the initial short push allowed him to maintain that hold and allow them to pick up another round.
Well, back to pistols for Syman Gaming, and it's not looking like the first map anymore. Gambit have definitely stepped up to the plate and putting up a good fight to at least remain in the minor. Not even like get through at this point. They've got to win the next map if that's the case as well.
And then win against Windstrike.
Yeah.
And then the winner of the other match. It's going to be still a tough road for all these teams.
Well, I think if they win against Windstrike, then they have a pretty decent chance, because obviously 2 teams go through. And obviously then there's even the 3rd place thing as well. But that will be against one of the EU teams, which I don't think anybody really wants to end up in.
Especially when you have quite a stacked tournament on the EU side. But funny enough, you know, Mouse Sports or Optic, one of them will be going home today. I believe, I want to say that's going to be our first match of the EU minor.
Ooh, how are they doing so much with so little? Mo needs to start connecting his shots, otherwise he's going to be surrounded fairly soon. Luckily, Axile's there, but Sanji gets him straight through the box. This is just pistols in this round. It shouldn't be so successful. Are they going to try and run and boost him over? That's actually going to work. He's managed to get across with the bomb. That will allow it to be planted. He's even retrieved an AWP. The problem is Exile's going to go pushing and leave it all onto one. Neelan in the 1 versus 2. Flashbang going to go over. Can he hit the shot with the AWP? Spotted both players, gets up high. And Exile will be there to save the round once again for Gambit. Still, 9-2 up. Still no look of Syman making a break back. And, well, starting to get a little bit worrying now for their side.
You're right, though. They did a hell of a lot with just pistols alone. making it very costly for Gambit. Again, still aren't that safe economy-wise. And when that round began, there was 1,800 for Mir, 1,400 for Mo. It seems like even though Gambit still have this massive lead, it just isn't reflected too much in their economy. I mean, Mir's only one close to looking well off at about 5K, as they have invested into the double-up setups. It's going to be Mo and Mir. He just doesn't care. He rushes straight through. There's still 2 players there looking at him. Doja will clean him up. But a quick push towards short, actually, can allow them to take this side. The problem is Mo's still going to be there. Mo is finally hitting his shots. Only going to hit 2, but Sanji finally able to shut him down.
Yeah, and at this point, the round is looking all but done. There's only 2 of them left to try and fight this back. And Bondik, well, he starts it off with a gun, finishes him off with the flames, and leaves it all on to Sanji. He needs the ace to be able to win this one, and I can't say I'm a believer. Bondik there to close the round, and well, Gambit are looking utterly dominant, and it seems like no matter what play Syman Gaming are trying to make, it's just not working.
Yeah. They've only had 2 rounds of like real success. I hear a scream. I'm assuming, actually I can check the score really quickly on the other game. It's actually 8-7 at the moment for Avantgarde up against Prosto. But again, with that screaming, I'm assuming it's going to be 8-8 as they're able to take the pistol round on Inferno. So some crazy games happening across the board here. I mean, Gambit getting on the verge of pushing this into Train as our 3rd and final map, which was exactly where these 2 teams met yesterday in that best of 1.
Yeah, I would say as well that if you're Syman Gaming, you wanted to close it out on this map. Because not only do you then know that, okay, Gambit will have gained some confidence because they will have won the 2nd map, but the other thing with that is they then go into the pick that they won earlier today and looked very, very good on Indeed. They're warmed up, they're playing much better in this map as well. And you're going to have that added thing of like, oh, we could have done, oh, that's a mistake. Xbox Smoke will miss. Mir's going to be given the space. Both players actually hitting some shots, but it's Mir to do the majority of the damage. That secondary AWP, as you mentioned, coming into play, but they are going to be able to bypass 1 or 2 of the shots, but not really make too much space of it. I have actually wanted to see them play more into middle, actually, because it's been one of the positions that they haven't really utilized particularly well, and everywhere else seems to be pretty much locked down. Either way, a solo push from these couple of players is not going to be working out. And Exo is just playing out of his mind at the moment. 3 kills again. We saw the same in the previous round. And Perfecto, 1 versus 5. Another attempt at one of the craziest clutches you'll ever see. He at least gets rid of Bondik.
Yeah, at least picks up 1 frag. But 1 frag's not going to turn the tides of that round. So now, Gambit up to 11 here on our 2nd map. And you can see, I mean, Syman just look not worried, but they don't look as pumped up as they were after that 1st map. You could tell that the blood was rushing for them, able to take Mirage, especially in a 16-7 fashion with Neelan really stepping up as well as Perfecto on that map. So is Torek, actually, who's, unfortunately for him, he's bottom of the scoreboard at 4 and 10.
Yeah, I think a lot of this can't even come down to individuals anymore. They're just being wrecked all over the shop. And I don't think there's been a single player where I can look at and say, yeah, they've had like sort of high impact moments because they've only got 2 rounds on the board. It's not been going well. And in the sort of closer rounds at the beginning where there was actually a chance for them to break the economy, they lost all of the sort of clutch moments versus Gambit players. Like we've seen a strong performance coming out from Bondik in the early rounds, which was very important. And then we've seen other players pick up the slack along the way. Mo, also Axile as well, and Mir, and these were the ones that we were sort of talking about going into today. Like, they needed to step up, and that was a bit... Oh!
1 HP.
He's lucky, very lucky. I think even a step down and he would have been dead. Either way, a couple of low players, very low players in the server at the moment. 4 HP between Mo and Mir, the M&Ms of this side, and it's going to be a straight-up short push coming in now. Syman, as a bare minimum, need to get the last couple of rounds. Question is, can they do anything in a round where they've done so much damage?
Oh, Mo again. Actually going to miss the shot and get caught out there by Torek. Bonnik is burning up down to 45 HP, pushes out, gets the first, almost gets the second onto Perfecto, and Doja is still going to be alive towards long A. Again, another round where they leave Doja in the pit, no one left to flank towards long, and we'll get the plant. But it will be 3-on-3, and Torek's on 11, Perfecto down to 7. Lucky for them, Mir's going to be low on health as well, but he's got the AWP, he doesn't need the HP, just needs to hit the shot. It's going to be tough, but like you said, Syman definitely need these rounds. These last few to have a chance. A little bit interesting. Perfecto, no one even watching the push towards CT. And just like that, Axel gets himself a triple kill. This man's at 16-4 now.
Yeah, this is like the young gun map, isn't it? Like I think during the qualifier we said that about Som. We were just running around and just wrecking absolutely everybody. Now Axile as well, it's just pure individual skill, just able to walk in and pop everyone's head in that retake. 12th round on the board already for Gambit, and I'm almost sensing the train is starting to arrive in the station.
Well, here we go. It's the final round of the first half. I feel like Disbalance hasn't had the AWP in a majority of these rounds. Not saying that giving him an op would turn the tides of this game, but he did look good yesterday with that weapon. Has been relatively quiet so far in this series. Sanji, maybe a little bit of frustration push out towards short by himself.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those though, like people trying to challenge long individually without many grenades, and like, did he just run out of B? Did he just run through the smoke on B? Like, that's just a suicide play. Like, you're never going to win that battle unless the players on the site are asleep. So, yeah, it's looking like there's some frustration coming in from Syman Gaming, maybe wanting this map to end so they can get onto train, but the fact is that is not good signs for a team that had such a fantastic first map.
Yeah, this time finally Neelan's able to deal with Doja, but not able to deal with Mo over towards Car. Yeah, I think there's frustration. I think as well, it can be exhausting to play this map back and try to take it into what's almost overtime at this rate. But we do have to wait for the second half to kick off. We do have to head to that short break, but when we come back, we will be seeing how this map is going to end and if we're going to a third. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get underway with our second half of our second map here of Dust2 between Gambit Esports and Syman Gaming. Currently, Syman is up 1-0 in the series. I'm Jason Kaplan, still joined by the lovely Tom, as we get this second half underway and find out, can Syman bring it back? Can we potentially see a two? Oh, okay, there you go. So we'll see you guys after this next 20-minute break, before we get our third map ready.
To be fair, they have pulled off some impressive comebacks before, but they just look demoralized by the end of that first half. I think it's going to be difficult even mentally to bring them back. Maybe they just all need a good punch on the arm, a slap around the face, just to wake them up a little bit, because, yeah, the last round with them just running into different angles like separately was painful to watch. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more from them over on the CT side, but fact is they lose the pistol, they lose the game. It's pretty much done.
Let's see here. I mean, I don't think Syman have given up just yet. Nice little play by Sanjay. I mean, the thing is, like, there's so many different ways you can look at this, and I guess I'll get to that point in a second. As Neelan does take on Bondic, and Neelan's trying to hold on to this A push. He flashed himself a little bit here. Does get gooshed up down to 7 health. Nexo's trying to push back in, who has been really a standout player on this map in particular. This is what he's been able to do. Bomb has gone down. Gambit still have 3 players left alive up against the 2. Perfecto going to come up, though, and get the kill on Amur. So equalizing things at 2 apiece. This is still going to be such a tough retake to pull off.
Yeah, and the problem is they don't have a kit either, so they need to go quickly. Sanji, now the only one left alive, and Dosia managed to move out of his position. And the fact is, Sanji now has to go on such a long little trip. He has managed to find the kit on the floor, but it won't matter in the end. 14 and 2. The pistol goes away, and you can just see the almost relief, the happiness on at least the faces of some of the youngsters. Mo still looks fully focused. I don't think I think another one where, yeah, I don't think
I've seen him smile. Or Doja.
It's like Naf. There's some rare pictures of Naf smiling, and they make me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
He's got a good smile, I guess.
The rare Naf smile.
Kind of like an eclipse, just, you know, once in a few years.
You can't look directly at it, though.
That as well. That as well. Ooh, oh my gosh, what a shot. Sit down, Mirrors. Neelan just gets the 1 shot. And I don't know what they were doing there. But Sanji does.
I don't know if there was a smoke that faded or something. He was just like, and I am invisible. It's like, if I can't see him, he can't see me.
Moves so slow that he becomes invisible for the eyes.
Either way, it is 3v2. He'll manage to retrieve an AK onto Neelan, who's doing good work with the Deeg, but still, Axel's managed to get his way onto the site. Now, he doesn't really want to challenge towards Long because he just doesn't have the weapon to do so. It's just a question of whether Neelan actually knows he's there, which he doesn't. Bondic's actually going to steal that kill away anyway, and that'll be the AK retrieved. And in the meantime, Torek has made the mistake that we've all made, which is going for the slightly more complicated jump and making yourself look like a fool.
I feel like someone's made fun of you in the past for that.
No.
That wasn't very confident, no. Torek, I mean, there's no real chance he's going to pull this off. 1v3 with the no kit to be seen. And he still has that smoke to worry about, so maybe just trying to save this into the next round should be his play. Maybe make it expensive for the other side, or maybe there's a chance he can rescue the AK, but I would imagine Mo or Bondic's going to upgrade to that weapon.
I think Axel has picked up one of them. I don't know if there was another one in play already, but he's definitely retrieved an AK. So I don't think there's a weapon to be had. And yeah, realistically, it's not much of a choice but to try and save this weapon. So 15 and 2, looking for a little bit of a 16-2 revenge over on the Gambit side after we did see... Or was that versus... No, that was versus Amiga. Either way, they want a little bit of a 16-2 revenge, and I'll look to see whether or not they're going to get that, because the buy-in that's coming in the next round is not a particularly pretty one. It's, again, mostly going to be SMGs and pistols. I say mostly, that is exactly what it is, because there are no rifles to be had for the CT side. And on the other side, that's pretty much all we have. A scout as well. I don't really count that, but here we go. Bondic straight out towards Long. There's 3 players ready and waiting, but the flashbangs left them all blind. Bondic just sprays them down. I think he might know there's one more on the other side. Exile, he really wants to pad those stats, and because of it, I Disbalance managed to get 2 back.
He needs to get away, though. He only has 8 health, and he's got one of the much-needed weapons that I really can't afford to lose at this rate. Do it. Molotov coming in, and there goes the AK.
Yeah. It's turned into a cooking show. Today, it's going to be preparing for train. Perfecto. Torek now left to try and save this. They have not had a particularly good map, but neither has the rest of the team, as you can see from the scoreline. They're going to be looking to try and cross in. Now, they've still got 3 smokes ready and waiting for the cross, but the timing might just get them. Torek, though, he's able to spray down 1. At least that's something. He survived. Actually going to go pushing back in. Mir seems ready on the other side of the smoke, though, if there is going to be a push through from Perfecto. He decides against it, and the flank is yet to really come in. Mir just going to wait around that car area. Has the potential. That's an interesting shot to try and take, and that will be it. 16-2, pure domination from the Gambit side, and well, that is pretty much all you want when coming back after a map defeat on Mirage. They will now head in on to Train, where they will try and keep their survival efforts going for the CIS Minor.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting into that third and final map of the series in just a few moments of time. We're going to head to a short break, but we'll see you guys soon.